clarify your claim.
Nice.
I believed you anyway.
Yeah. Got him. Woo!
I thought you were
Sweet. All right. Well. There's a Delver. Sorry, there's a Deathrite Shaman in the.
I'll read the bottle one.
In the other deck. Yeah, sure. That's a great idea. All right. Well, rule number 1 in Legacy is
Don't mulligan?
don't mulligan. Yeah. So it looks like this game one's already over.
It's over because you mulliganed?
Yeah, that's how Magic works,
If
man.
you're playing Dredge, you should mulligan.
Nope.
That's the only deck.
Just
not
kidding.
Manaless Dredge.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take it. Oh, so it's the Delver Mirror match.
Interesting.
Ooh,
Should be
that looks
fun.
like a really good hand.
Good 6.
Good 6. So we're gonna scry and
He's looking for a land, I
Right.
think. Pretty much it.
well, the scry doesn't matter because he's on the play.
Also true.
Yeah, so we're gonna fetch probably play Deathrite Shaman. That's what you play, right?
Did he have both?
I thought you
I
said
saw-
Delver. Do you both?
I saw Delver, Ponder, Daze.
If you have
and
Deathrite, you
Grixis.
definitely play it here, given that you only have
I
one
saw a
land.
Gurmag. He had a
If
Delver,
you-
Gurmag, 2 Ponders.
Yeah, if you don't have the Deathrite, then you just play Delver.
Right. So mulligan to 6 in the Delver Mirror. How important do you think that impacts the outcome?
I mean, it can matter.
Okay. And if this theoretically is the Grixis mirror match, if this is the Grixis mirror match, what do you think? What are the most important cards that you want to see on both sides?
Usually, like, games play out, like, one of 2 ways. One way is, like, the Wasteland battle, and then one player is left with lands and gets to cast a relevant spell and gets there quickly.
Okay.
And then the other way is when Wasteland's not relevant, and then both players, like, get to develop their boards, and the game goes super long.
Okay.
And then you're just trading threats. And then
Yeah, exactly.
Stick the most,
Okay.
the toughest threat to deal with, so Gurmag,
Okay.
usually.
Typically, yes.
Or unanswered Pyromancer, too, but that's
Okay.
less likely to happen.
So here you see the player on the right is choosing to go for a Daze.
Ooh.
He might be on the turbo version.
Is this Dylan Donegan? A Dylan Donegan special?
Yeah, it looks good. So there's might be 2 different Grixis Delvers. One Grixis Delver plays Pyromancer, the other one plays 4 Thought Scours in order to power out like turn 2 or 3 Gurmag Anglers.
Okay.
So the
what's
deck on the
good?
right is more like even more tempo oriented.
Okay. So James is asking which is favored in this situation.
Which deck?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty even because although hypothetically Gurmag Angler is like a trump card, the other deck plays Young Pyromancer and that beats Gurmag Angler if it's unanswered, which doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough that I think the matchup's pretty close.
Okay.
And sometimes drawing Thought Scours will be.
Yeah, yeah, mostly true.
I mean,
It's
when,
not
when you
horrible,
power
but-
out a Gurmag with Thought Scours are going to be
Yeah.
excellent. But when you're not doing that,
Yes. But probe therapy is just like a more powerful combination of cards than Thought Scour.
Ooh, and the chat's saying that there's actually copies of Stifle somewhere in this 150 card.
I think Kohei is on Stifle.
Yes, there we go. All right, we're gonna see some scumbaggery right now.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Watch
that's
yourself.
what else is Stifle besides that though? Yeah, but I wonder how Stifle changes things because
I think Stifle means that, I mean, obviously you're more all in the tempo plan and you're going to have a dead card in your deck if the game progresses to the stage 2, which I was talking about earlier, where it's like, Wasteland doesn't matter. But if you stay in stage 1, where it's all about, getting lands out, then Stifle's obviously excellent.
right.
So, yeah.
does he jam this Deathrite, or
Well-
does he play around Daze? I think he jams the Deathrite and then.
Did he already play land? Because
No.
he dazed. No, he hasn't played a land yet.
He has a land drop, right? So he's got 2 options. I think he thought scoured so you have enough to play the Gurmag Angler.
So he's playing Gurmag or Deathrite.
Right. So he's got the option now to.
Okay, so he's just going for it here.
Right.
Does he have
Which
Daze backup? I didn't notice.
I don't think he did. I think if he did, he would have gone for 100%.
Yeah.
But I think given the situation, his opponent has a Deathrite.
Yeah, if you just cast your Deathrite, then your opponent has the opportunity to get so far ahead
Right.
on the next turn or negate your Deathrite.
Yeah, and like his opponent could also drop an Angler.
That's true.
So, yeah, I think you're kind of forced into it at that point. Now he's going to need to have an answer to the Pyromancer.
Well, if he
Otherwise,
does,
as
he's
I
in
mentioned
good shape.
earlier, yeah, if he does, he's in good shape. If he doesn't, then it could be a tough game.
So I wonder if we're waiting on tokens right now because I mean he did cast a Ponder using the Deathrite Shaman, but I don't see the token in play yet. maybe they are searching for the correct token, or he may have forgotten the trigger. We'll find out soon, but I think that's actually critical. We're delving exactly into the situation we were talking about before, which is Gurmag Angler versus Pyromancer, who's going to win. And I think you said it was based on whoever finds the the removal spell first, right? Is that right?
I mean, an unanswered Pyromancer beats everything, right? Doesn't that win any like board situation? It's usually going to get there.
Except for like Delver in the air, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In general, that's just going to win you the game, but it's fragile enough that in this type of matchup where everyone has 1 mana removal spells, it's not likely that he turns around, but he can still wins if he does. Delver Mirror seems to be all about board.
So there's still no token.
Whoa, and now there's this...
Oh, maybe here comes the token? Nope.
Just
nope, no token. No need.
And that's a different... Now he's going to take 5 that he wouldn't take.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he has the option of taking 5. Like, he could just...
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he loses the option, basically.
And
now he pretty much has to take.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
makes bolts more alive, and
I like this alternate strategy. So, player 1 presents Gurmag Angler. Player 2 says, all right, I can't get this Gurmag Angler off the board, so backup strategy, just kill you faster than the Gurmag Angler kills me.
All right, so it looks like you remember the trigger this time around. And
Right.
he's going for an aggressive Brainstorm. I think that I don't typically like this play, but I think I do like it in this situation because it's just come down to the cards mattering less and just getting ahead on board and racing.
Okay.
I can see not brainstorming here as well because it gives you more looks to find a lightning bolt. But brainstorming here is also fun.
Okay, and it seems like Kohei has he drew into a second Delver, which he can also flip using this Brainstorm. So he might be able to outrace this Gurmag Angler on the.
Oh, he definitely can, given the Pyromancer.
Exactly, yeah.
See if he swings with the Pyromancer this turn. I think I would ponder first and then potentially swing with the Pyromancer. Yeah, because he is a little bit behind, and if his opponent's Delver flips, it could go any number of ways. And I think he's okay with the Pyromancer trading with some other stuff at this point.
Right.
Do you think tapping red is right there? Yeah, I mean, if he draws into bolt, he can still use the Deathrite.
I'm slightly tilted.
Well, he's
because
casting
the
a
Volcanic
Delver,
Islands are facing
probably.
different directions.
Yeah, what's he doing? Come on. Played Magic before, man? Come on.
One question I have is, what do you think about just main phase activating the Deathrite Shaman to deal 2 damage?
I think that depends on how he attacks.
Yeah, so the reason to main phase activate would be to play around Gurmag Angler.
Well, also
Or
because of the
opposing
Deathrite.
Deathrites. But when he's putting his opponent down to 1 land,
Generally, it's better to. Okay, it looks like he's not playing the Delver if he had one.
Okay.
Generally, it's better to be the second person to activate the Deathrite. Just because when you tap the Deathrite first, the other person gets to respond and nullify your Deathrite.
Okay.
So it looks like he's going for that strategy of just holding it up to make his opponent's Deathrite do nothing, essentially.
depends on your role at that point. But yeah, being up on lands like this,
He
keeping it
is-
from producing mana is.
Yeah, so if his opponent's Delver didn't flip, he would be winning the race. Now that the Delver flipped, he's losing the race currently. But it could easily go any number of ways.
Right, because of that 5 damage that he was forced into taking. I imagine that if Kohei was at 14, this game would be much more in his favor.
I agree.
Uh-huh.
I think that's, as of right now, a big difference.
Right, and I actually think because James is right, because the Delver player on the right is bottlenecked on mana, using your Deathrite as a control element is much better. Which also brings me to the next question: is in this specific matchup where you have Turbo Angler versus just good old Grixis Delver, who plays the aggro role? Who plays the control role? I mean, I know it depends, but in general, over 1,000 games, who do you think would do what?
Again, they're like very similar decks. Which person had Stifle? Was it the person on the left? Because I thought the person on the right also might have had it.
They might both have Stifle.
Okay. So in general, if you play Stifle, that puts you more in the aggro role. If they both have it,
Yeah.
honestly, it just depends on the cards that are drawn.
I really like the way he attacked, by the way, just like jamming them all the way in there into the red zone.
Into the
Just
red
like
zone.
Take this.
Yeah, just like total like not disrespect, but like establishment of presence. We'll put it that way.
So he's still in a pretty precarious position because if his opponent finds a removal spell for his Delver, which is going to need to stay back and block, That's going to be bad for him. Although he can also find a fetch land for a green source, start gaining life as another potential
I mean,
avenue.
if Kohei finds an answer to the Delver, he's probably going to.
Right.
Ooh. Second
Wasteland's
Wasteland?
good.
It's good, but okay. So now, yeah, the Delver. Sorry, the Deathrite is.
But that hasn't changed the prediction. He still has to answer this Delver.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has his own Delver back to
so
block,
he
but he's not advancing his. Well, he can advance his combat, through the.
If he's casting
Pyromancer.
a couple spells a turn, then he.
Yeah.
Problem is the Deathrite blocks element.
Okay, and this is a great example of what Bob was saying earlier. Just this person to activate their Deathrite Shaman second comes out ahead.
I don't know if I agree with
that play.
Yeah.
Potentially, what may
So
have
now,
happened-
because now he loses a blocker. Okay. All right. Well,
I think he's.
so he's a
assuming-
second Delver, so that's what he's gonna use.
Maybe he has Force of Will. I don't know what his hand is. Days.
Like he could have tried to daze back the Underground Sea.
I think that was the intention. There isn't a daze in his hand.
But we need to cast another spell
Underground
just to
too.
save a land. But now this way, with Kohei tapping his Deathrite, the player on the right has access to a mana again.
Right.
We'll see if he can.
So
do
he's in much
anything.
better shape now. Have second Delver. He's willing to trade with the other one. Chump block this Gurmag for days.
He only has 2 tokens. Yeah.
All right, so
Does
let's.
the guy on the right offer up his trade before the Delver? I don't.
No, because you want to draw like a lightning bolt and keep
Right.
bashing basically. But you're just trying to close this game out because
Um,
you're not favored.
Ooh, the Delver does not flip.
That's fine. I think the player Kohei has plenty of.
And
He-
Deathrite can
he's
start
even draining
whittling
for
now.
2, yeah. And the other thing is like his Deathrite's keeping his opponent's Deathrite off mana.
Okay, so if we agree that Turbo Angler Delver is a little bit behind right now, what cards do... I guess they have to start off by
He
drawing
needs
some
like
lands.
land lightning bolt.
Land, Lightning Bolt, okay. So if you ponder and you shuffle... If it
Even
was
that's not probably enough because he has a second Delver, so it depends on how fast the second Delver flips.
Brainstorm. So one thing that I think is possible is that you can activate Deathrite at your opponent's end step,
Yeah.
and then sort of overload the opponent's Deathrite.
Right,
so
so that's
you
probably what's going to happen next
It's
turn.
possible he should have
Right.
done that this past end.
He did, and his
He
opponent decided not to use the Deathrite, which is correct.
Okay.
So this is a moment of weakness where
He
potentially...
could resolve the Brainstorm, but the Brainstorm
Right.
doesn't do that much. It's more...
you just...
Brainstorm's good. Okay, so that was really bad.
That force will...
The Force is going to stop,
The Force is
potentially
a
Lightning
draw,
Bolt.
yeah.
I think it's might be game. If he has a blue card.
I mean, not only does it stop whatever cards are necessary for Turbo Angler to win, but it also flips the Delver, which makes this game over even faster.
So he doesn't have another blue card. I think in this situation, I think I actually like swinging in with both now. That almost prices the player on the right to block, so I like swinging with both. Because if you only swing with one and then he blocks, then you're missing out on 3 damage, and then you don't have another token to sacrifice this turn, so you're probably throwing the Pyromancer in front. Yeah, so.
Do we know?
I mean,
Okay,
he's
all right.
dead to a Delver's.
We can hard cast Force of Will if we need to.
Yep.
With some gumbo in there.
Looks like he's gonna go for the end-step Brainstorm. That makes sense.
I don't think Kohei can try to counter it with Deathrite. I'd rather keep up Force of Will than stop the Brainstorm.
Well, keeping the Force of Will, also the Drain is highly relevant now because he's at 6 life.
Right.
So he's actually dead to a couple Deathrite Drains.
That's true. We
I
could.
don't know why he wouldn't go for it though. Like, the player on the right seems to have to go for it.
Yeah, I think Kohei would just definitely rather just deal the 2 points of damage instead of try to stop the other Deathrite.
Right.
And I think in this situation, normally you have to evaluate whether it's safe enough to make the aggressive play, which in this case would be dealing the 2 damage. But I think Kohei is pretty far ahead such that he can afford to actually do that.
What's in Kohei's hand? They have one card. Is
He
it the
has
Force
of Will.
Yeah. Whereas I believe Turbo Angler has Daze, Spell Pierce, Stifle, and a Brainstorm. 4 cards at least.
So the player on the right can't do anything. He just needs to counter his opponent's Deathrite. So the Delver just... What? He gets another attack in, so he goes down to 3. I think that the player on the right just has to pass. Otherwise he loses.
He fetches.
Unless he like somehow brainstorms into a bolt. But I think... So who's winning if nothing happens? He goes to 3, he chumps with the Deathrite, and then he dies. So if nothing happens, the player on the left wins, Kohei wins. So
damn, did you see that? Kohei gave his opponent like the death glare. It's just like, I've got you.
So hypothetically, the player on the right could try to brainstorm for a bolt, but he has one more turn to do so, so it could be okay to wait a turn. I just don't like the fact that he didn't brainstorm and stuff.
Right. That was
because his mana is so incredibly tight, and he got lucky to draw the fetch land. Well.
So let's say Turbo Angler draws the lightning bolt. So end step Kohei goes drain. In response, you brainstorm, and then you probably just bolt right there if you find it, right? That's the.
Oh wow! So I don't like this play at all. He's going for the drain now. Oh wait, actually I do like this play because he goes down to 5, so then
you have to find the bolt. Yeah,
he's dead both ways.
Yeah. Well,
so now he's priced into brainstorming.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has to brainstorm. He has to brainstorm.
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay, Stifle. I didn't see that.
Does that solve the problem? No.
Yeah, he does because he goes to 1.
But then
he can't fetch,
right,
which means he's effectively dead.
I'm not really happy about.
Yeah, I think he just drained now, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh, did he draw? No, he didn't. Well, he drew Ponder. I don't even know if you Ponder here because you have Force. I'd rather have a Force.
Looks like he found 2 blue cards, so I don't think you can afford to shuffle that away.
Yeah, I mean he's ahead, so he just needs to counter whatever the other player plays. And
Stifle is such a swinging card in this matchup. This is an example of a game where it was bad.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing is, that is sort of there's a function of the situation that we're in. But like, if counter draining your opponent is bad, then just stopping the drain by itself, by definition, is also bad because But both lines are just a sub function of that. So it's like, I'm really just not happy with that Stifle plan.
Stifle's fine in the sub game that we talked about.
Right.
Sub game 1, stopping their wastelands or trying to waste them out of the game. When you get to sub game 2, it's a bad card.
Yeah. And actually, I was wrong when I said earlier. Actually, if nobody played spells, the player on the right actually wins.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize this because he attacks and then he's priced into using his Deathrite first, which means the player on the right can counter the Deathrite.
Right.
So it's actually pretty great for him now.
That being said, yeah.
Well, actually, so if he goes for he blocks and then goes for a drain, that means
we still have to find the lightning bolt.
That means that
he can gain 2, right? If he
has
blocks and drains, then he goes down to 2, goes up to 4.
Okay, yeah, so that does work.
But then goes down
to 2. But then he dies. So it doesn't work. All right, so I'm wrong again.
I don't think the guy on the right has play other than.
Well, he also has to beat a Force of Will too. So
this is one card though, right?
Does he have
he has Force and a blue card.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it should be over. As long as Kohei blocks and drains.
Right. Wow, is he taking it to going down to 1? Well, yeah, I guess because he's dead on board.
Now his Force is dead. Seems
loose. Yeah.
Doesn't.
What am I thinking?
So like, if he has bolt, so if you were to fetch,
well, you lose the bolt either way, though.
Yeah, at this
So
point.
Kohei dodges the bolt either
Yeah,
way.
you just put it to the face.
Now, but
Oh wait,
you know,
but now this is horrible because now
he,
he
like,
fetches, he goes to
blocked.
2, and he has to let the fetch resolve. He has 2 fetches.
Wow.
What red card does he have?
I feel as if he should have blocked.
And drained.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
then
agree with you
Wasteland.
on
By
that.
taking
Yeah.
5, now you're dead to bolt, which you weren't otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's bad.
Well, you're pretty dead to bolt though. How do you beat bolt if he
You have
blocked, drained?
You have Force of Will in your hand and counter bolt. You can't use it.
Oh,
anymore.
okay, true.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are 2,500 people at the GP.
Now you shouldn't die. You can't die to a bolt now.
You can. In response to the fetch,
And you drain him and he's
You found the bolt?
he found no. Then he taps the Deathrite for mana and bolts.
true.
If you found the
Yeah.
Oh my! Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's something else that we're missing. We don't know what that second blue card is.
he-
We don't know what the second blue card is. If that's a daze, he could still win.
He doesn't have bolt. Does he have bolt?
Yeah, the player on the right drew bolt.
Okay.
So he should win now.
He
So
should go
fetch.
for it though. I don't think there's any benefit for letting him untap or anything like that, right? It's not going to get better.
It doesn't make a difference. You can do it now or do it on the upkeep.
He does have another
No,
bolt.
it does. It does make a difference because if you let him do it in the upkeep, he has access to. No, he doesn't have access to.
Well, we should pass and see if he does anything else. Okay,
Damn it!
I don't understand. What's
That's
going
okay. I mean, it's a hard to catch thing. It's not necessarily the.
so both these players looks like they punted the game back to each other.
on. Kohei punted twice though. Turn 3.
I think ended up losing him this match. He was at 6 life.
Ooh! Whoa!
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I guess no. Kohei, it didn't matter because as long as he, well, why didn't he?
Wait, no. What? I don't know what.
Kohei just won because he bolted him and then in response Kohei drained him.
Right.
So that actually meant that I guess it didn't matter.
So even with Spell Pierce, Stifle, that's. Yes,
That was a weird game.
That was okay. Wait, I gotta think about this. What could Turbo Angler have done?
If he just had bolt rather than having to brainstorm for bolt, he had a chance.
Huh.
He would have won. Because he had a brainstorm for bolt, if he fetches and hoping that his opponent would drain in response to the. If he doesn't drain in response to the fetch,
Yeah.
and then he bolts,
Yeah.
then in response he deals.
Right, because the
Gotcha.
Delver is threatening lethal, so
So
that
I think
puts
his
the,
best chance to win would have been to fetch, hope his opponent
yeah.
drained in response to fetch for some bad reason,
Yeah.
and bolted him. But I think, yeah, you're right. He was dead either way. He had to have bolt, not brainstorm
Yeah.
for bolt.
Or we could have hit like another land.
But Kohei could have beaten Bolt too just by chumping with the death rate.
Yeah, true.
Jump with the death ray, keep your
But he
force.
didn't know
alive.
that, so he took it,
Ooh,
and then if
okay.
his opponent's second main phase bolted him.
All right, so really quickly, we've got some interesting things going on.
Looks like he took out a therapy
Yeah,
and
exactly.
a probe as well.
Okay, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so my sideboard plan, I bring in Baleful Strix. I bring in 1 or 2 Pyroblasts.
Mhm.
He's playing Abrupt Decay.
He's leaving in Spell Pierce, which I don't like.
Spell
He
Pierce is-
did go back out again.
He can hear you,
He
Bob.
can hear me.
I hate Spell Pierce and Delver Mirror.
Yeah, it basically it's pretty
It's just
situational.
tempo negative.
Yeah,
What about Flusterstorm?
I think it's
also don't
similar.
like it. Yeah,
I think
same
it's
thing.
there are certain ways the game can play out where it's good, but too often you're like keeping man open, hoping to do something,
Yeah.
in which the game is about board. Flusterstorm
Right.
is not countering spells that affect the board either.
Exactly.
So it's,
Well, it's
So I
stopping
think-
from removal spells.
So I
but
think
yeah, but countering one mana removal spells is
hard.
never where you
Not
want to
good.
be. I
Okay,
don't
sure,
think.
sure.
yeah.
It can happen sometimes.
You
but-
just don't have mana is the problem.
Okay, that's fair.
So like I would say like at least 50% of the games, both players are going to be pretty low on resources and mana. They're just going to be trading everything off. So it's just rare that you're going to have the extra 1 mana up.
Mhm.
So typically, like obviously the best cards in the mirror are threats and removal, and then
Right.
next after that would be some combination of like disruption, whether that's counter spells, stifle, therapy.
Mhm.
They're all somewhat situational. Personally, I prefer the counter spells like daze and force of will because they're a little bit less situational, particularly in the Wasteland games. Then the free counter magic is excellent. And so personally, I like playing those cards. Also, I think what's changed recently is like people used to board out Force of Wills all the time in the fair matchups.
Yeah.
Because the answers tended to line up really well with the threats. That's not true anymore.
No one has
Like,
answers to Gurmag.
No one has answers to Gurmag.
Right.
No one has answers to a
Beyond
Pyromancer
the
that goes out of control.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why like you need the answer like right there, and counterspells are like the only way that you can.
Or
do
if you have
that.
answers to those cards, you have one of in your 5 of each.
Right.
You have a Dismember, electric, or
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Like in the past, when everybody was just trading like plows and Tarmogoyfs, like everything answered everything, so
Yeah.
you didn't need Force of Will. But now Force of Will is better because
yeah,
the
forcing your
answers don't
Gurmag
line up with
is
the threats.
this game.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering. I feel like that first game was really, really, really close. I really
I think
wanted.
Kohei was ahead for most of it.
Yeah, he definitely was ahead because of the young Pyromancer. I mean,
It
there
was
are a couple
much
things
close-
that.
It didn't need to be so close. If he mates that 1-1,
With the-
Yeah, exactly. The game is
The
just
1-1 and then the block. I think both of them pretty much guarantee the win.
the block. I think actually.
Like, what does
you're
the
right.
block lose to? I don't think it loses to anything.
You
Because
bolt
again,
force.
no, but okay.
He had the force.
But how can you
he
be?
had the force.
How can if the player on the right had bolt plus force, he
Yeah.
would lose with the block? But would he beat bolt plus force without blocking? No.
No, I don't think
So
so.
yeah, no, he would still lose to that.
He could beat it because his opponent was at 3. No, maybe not then. Well, no, he had the
Because if he doesn't block, he goes to 1,
No, he
and then
had
he
the
bolts
delta.
him. You can't.
Deathrite counters the bolt, right?
Right.
So he goes bolt. I go Deathrite, kill you. He goes
If he just has the bolt, it doesn't do that though. Fetches,
down to 2.
cast bolt, the opponent drains. In response, he fetches his other land and counter drains the opponent.
I think at
Counters
that,
the drain.
did he have the flooded strand at that time?
He did.
He had double
He had
fetch.
3 life and
So-
2 fetches.
So the
Okay.
brainstorm cut off that avenue of play. But if he naturally had the bolt
Yeah.
and the force hypothetically in this situation, that would
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll buy that. This is fun. I wish there was a GP every week that we could comment.
over mirrors or some.
Yeah. It's very.
They're very intricate. They come down to very small decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
typically.
Absolutely. And that's I think why
And
Legacy is so great.
The draw does matter, but not as much as people.
Right. I mean, it really depends. Yesterday, I was watching Bob play against Jarvis, and Bob goes like, "Turn 1 probe, Wasteland. Turn 2 Wasteland. Turn 3 Wasteland." And Jarvis just like, he does the typical Jarvis stuff, and scoops, yeah. Oh, you gotta use that Pimp Daddy token tomorrow.
For sure, on stream.
Yeah.
So Jarvis and I, we played a grudge match yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And then the stakes were the winner, whenever he says, "Who's your daddy?" the other player has to reply, "You are."
Yeah. It's great.
Oh, that's good.
So just to throw out now, it's gonna happen tomorrow for sure, and we're gonna see Jarvis make a face, and Jarvis is gonna get all riled up, and then I'm gonna chime in, and Jarvis is gonna be like, "Nah," and I probably won't say you are, but maybe we can get that out of him.
Okay, so interesting. He saw Delver. Maybe he didn't see a land. Typically, if you see like a threat, you would just keep that. And so it tells me that he's probably light on lands.
Turn 1 ponder is definitely what Gohei wants to see. It's on the draw, you're
Yeah.
breathing
Not a Delver,
aside
it's not
of
a Deathrite.
relief. Yeah, yeah.
And I think Turbo Angler drew a Stifle.
It's revealing he drew the flood string.
Okay, so yeah, I definitely like shuffling off that if you didn't see a land.
Right. I guess.
So
Kohei
here,
really-
though, I don't like playing the Flooded Strand, because what if he draws Wasteland here? And hypothetically, like, if his opponent dazes the turn 1 probe, that's generally fine.
right.
So I don't like playing the land. Did he draw for the probe?
Ooh, maybe he didn't. What about
I didn't see it, but anyways.
Maybe he did.
Stifle's bad. Stifle's
Yeah, like the player on the right
has
has a 1-lander.
Ooh, and that is
And he'll
Ooh,
take
I think you take the
the
ponder.
irrelevant stifles? Oh,
Okay,
he took
yep.
the irrelevant stifles. What is this?
Okay, well he drew Wasteland, which
Alright.
is a good draw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wasteland is pretty.
That makes the.
Is there a second land in Kohei's hand?
I think they're both land one. Both on one.
Yeah, I think Kohei might.
Oh,
have
he's
one
out.
or
He's out
something.
of Delta, and this.
Okay, yeah, so that's why Kohei takes the Stifle then, just to stop the.
Ooh. This is
He
pretty
might have just been
tempting to keep.
enticed by the 2-for-1.
Which
But I think you're supposed to shuffle this. Like, there's another Wasteland, but you don't have a threat. You don't have any way to capitalize on this quote-unquote tempo. And if his opponent just goes like land Deathrite, this is pretty bad.
Guys, wait
But
one
looks like he
second.
keeps
Pause.
it.
or draws a Wasteland.
PDF.
wins.
We need to take a moment for the PDF. All right, moment's over.
What's the PDF?
I don't know, just a PDF. So. I respect the PDF, whatever the PDF is.
Okay, looks like his opponent actually doesn't have Wasteland. And so I guess in the situation he doesn't have Wasteland, then keeping the Wastelands.
Another reason why taking the Wasteland is good is that it gets you a turn closer to playing Gurmag Angler, right? There was a Gurmag Angler in Turbo Angler's hand.
Oh, so yeah, his next turn,
Is
if Kohei doesn't Wasteland, is very good.
Yes.
Like it's play a Gurmag Angler and then Wasteland. Play around days.
Isn't it the
Or it's
other way
Wasteland
around?
first, and then
Yeah.
you cast.
Either way.
Either way,
Either way,
this
yeah.
is-
This way it gives him the option to daze.
keeps it from
Okay. Deathrite Shaman is keeping Kohei in this game still.
You find a Wasteland. Card on top of the player on the right's library is not.
That's a shuffle. And I guess we're just looking for lands now, like...
Yep, we're in that first category of games,
these
which is more likely too because does Kohei have Stifle? Have you seen it? I'm not sure.
I've not seen Kohei have it. Guy on the right.
Does
He
have
has
it.
it.
Well, had it before they got therapy away.
Stifle
I
makes a
mean,
lot
it
more
is hard to turn down that value, but I agree that Ponder was the more threatening card in that situation.
Okay, and Kohei did not find a land right now, so if Turbo Angler finds a red source, he's going to be able to bolt the Deathrite. And return that Pyroblast?
Stifle makes a lot more sense.
These two
in the
red
Turbo
spells you can't
Angler
cast.
build. You actually have big threats you can
To
take
capitalize
advantage
really
of.
quickly?
Yeah.
Okay, but that Dismember is big.
Oh yeah, that was. I don't know why he made a face because that brainstorm was fine. There you go.
Oh, that was an end step? Oh, no, that was just a draw pass. Okay. Alright, so... yeah, this game is pretty heavily favored.
Yep. Well, he still needs to draw a threat. He has a brick on top of his library, so he has another brainstorm. I like passing and waiting to clear the brick before brainstorming again.
I mean, with the Wasteland, you also have a little bit of insurance.
Because now you reduce your
Yeah, you
chance
have-
of locking yourself.
Yeah.
And you have enough time. It's not like your opponent's doing anything.
Exactly.
You don't have to take advantage of.
But he might have locked himself again too.
Yeah, still no red source.
This is weird. Crazy
Yep. They're gonna sit here for a little bit.
Legacy 2016, ladies and gentlemen.
He does have Stifle, and now it's actually good.
Somehow this game has progressed in such a way that that's relevant.
Yeah.
I hope his opponent just draws Vault.
So the other thing to note is because Kohei saw Stifle, he left in at least one force, possibly multiple forces,
Okay.
and that's what I like against Stifle is just playing forces.
Alright.
Against forces, against Stifle is having days.
Days and force. Yeah.
Don't do it, Kohei. Yes! Go, Kohei! Nice! Good job. Alright. Sorry, I just
So
like...
he's playing around the third Stifle. Oh, he's
Wasting the
tagging
waste.
the Wasteland to. So that's a more defensive line of play.
Ooh, but he stifled the Wasteland? No.
So now he's gonna Wasteland the fetch land and then Stifle.
Yeah, and he just cartwheeled himself into a Stifle blowout, which I don't think he.
Yeah, he didn't need to. He was playing around it theoretically. Like you have two options, right? You can either fetch and then have him stifle your fetch, and then you can Wasteland his only mana source, which is
Right.
clear that's his only mana source now.
Wait, what?
So he actually lets it happen without even forcing the issue, but he forces the issue anyway. Okay. Anyways, whatever. Either way, same result.
What?
And?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a
Oh, you drew Thought Scour, which
Alright.
Oh, that's terrible.
he also doesn't play the Thought Scour. Does he have another Stifle?
He's maybe trying to end step it just to hold something up, I
The
guess.
card's so bad.
Right?
I mean, what would he be holding up? Like Spell Pierce?
Hard to say. So I think
I
players
didn't
are going to
see
discard
another
soon. But
Like,
we
what,
did see a...
isn't Sarah Visions better than Thought Scour there? Pretty sure it is.
We're getting to that point.
Contextually speaking, no, but, you know, it'll matter when we get to the fourth Gurmag Angler.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, I mean, somehow the player on the right has not been able to leverage his advantage because he just hasn't found a threat.
Right, and at this point... Okay, you definitely Pyroblast that range.
Yes.
I mean, at this
Barboss is
point,
not even that good in this matchup.
Right, it literally hits cantrips and Delver.
and Force.
Yeah, this is
And Force.
And Stifle. I don't know if there's a Stifle in the but
So he's debating between Flusterstorm and Pyroblast, which again, also Flusterstorm, we talked about it, it's also not that good in this
both of those
matchup.
cards aren't good.
And he chooses to do neither.
Unless it
Alright.
resolve, I guarantee you he doesn't cast both those.
Kohei has more forces.
He
in
might
his hand
cast
now.
one of them.
Good.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I mean, I guess you're just saying, like, Brainstorm end step doesn't do that much, which is true, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's fun.
I also don't know why he did it end step, because if he drew a land, he could have cast spells.
Hala, did we just see a spell snare on the right side?
And how,
Whoa, he's going for a ball.
Why
Alright.
would you do that?
Alright.
Why would you do that?
He might
I
be
guess
at
he's
7.
no, he discarded, so that's the reason. He just didn't want to discard,
Yeah.
but I mean,
What is going on?
both of them were put. I think both players were put into positions where their deck's not really functioning the way they want it to.
Right.
That doesn't mean you should, waste cards like Lightning Bolt. Like, I think he has extra dead cards that he could potentially
The
discard.
stumble.
Um,
Spell snare! Nice! Alright. I just want to see like a young Pyromancer get destroyed
The
by
spell
a
snare is not good in this matchup.
all right, they're both. This is absurd. I've actually never seen this before. Both Delver players have lands, but they're like playing lightning bolts to bolt each other so they don't discard. I've literally never seen this before.
And
in
it
my,
goes
like,
yo.
thousands of games playing Delver. Like,
You know what's popping in my head right now?
Now he's gonna he's gonna Flusterstorm this,
Fine, I'm okay with that.
which is like way less relevant, I think, than the
I
Brainstorm.
hear the circus music going on, like da da da
Alright,
da
so
da.
the days come in here, I think. Unless he has Pyroblast. So yeah, Pyroblast. He uses both spells, James.
Oh my
You're
God.
wrong.
And he drew a red blast. Okay, all right. So the Delver is not going to stick for long.
What is this
I
game?
wonder if. Okay, yeah, you're not going to force that.
Hope he does.
Then he can daze it.
It's going to be a total blowout if he does. Yeah, but. Yeah. All right. I mean, like, I will give you this. Like, it's hard. Maybe both players have just never been in this situation before. Like.
Playing on camera?
Delver triple fight?
Yeah, the Delver Cripple fight, where you have like 7 cards.
Pyroblast.
You're gonna have to discard otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, in this situation, we're probably seeing that maybe reallocation of sideboarding sources.
Force it. Ah,
No, you're not gonna force a Ponder.
You can't
You're gonna force the Gurmag Angler that's gonna come right now. There
Right.
you go.
and he's earned days back, and then he's earned.
Does he have another daze?
Yeah, the days.
He already used the daze to resolve the Ponder.
Oh, okay.
Okay, actually, wait, Bob. No, serious question though. In this situation, rather than burn Bolt, what would you do? I mean, your cards are literally you don't
You'd
have
rather
any other.
discard it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think bolting is not strictly incorrect.
Would you discard Force of Will?
No, forces are going to be good always. You could discard a blue card that pitches.
Well, the guy on the right's got, I think, 2 Force of Wills, or the
Yeah,
guy on
he
the
does.
left does. One of these guys
On the
has
left,
two.
he has 2.
I would discard the
Okay.
first. I mean, unless you're in pitch force. I think removal's very important in this matchup. So
Right.
getting rid of.
Interesting. So he has plenty of cards, but he still decides that he needs more, I guess. Or like he chose to keep a daze over the force. Oh, he has another force. He had 3 forces. And I think you force again. You have to force again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all in on this.
It's a 2-turn clock.
Plus, you probably have very few answers, and the answer you might have would be like dismember.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, so he forced
Murder's
daze.
cut, maybe. I like murder.
So the player on the right still has a Deathrite to follow up with. Not bad.
I think it's interesting. Like each of these, we talked about the 2 different sub games that can happen.
Mhm.
The first match was all about sub game number 2.
Right.
It was all about board and guys, and the second match has been all about sub game number 1.
Right. And what's interesting is that there have been maybe like 4 or 5 Wastelands used in this game. So slowly, subgame number 1 is also just developing into subgame number
Yeah.
2 because player on the right, Turbo Angler, was not able to capitalize off of his advantage from winning subgame number 1.
You just cast the 3rd or 4th Stifle.
Okay. Yeah. Now
4th
we're,
Stifle, 4th Stifle.
that's crazy.
What do you just stifle?
A fetch line.
With the card.
Yeah, so now you see Stifle being really good and really bad in the exact same game.
Yeah. That's Stifle for you.
But now Kohei's on a short clock. He's going to go down to 6 and go down. So kind of in both games, you saw like there was one player who had the clear edge. Last game was Kohei. This game it was the player on the right. We should make up a name for that guy. But anyways, both players had a clear advantage, but it took them forever to close out the game.
Mm-hmm. I just called.
Which is unusual. I mean, there's usually enough threats in.
What was that?
I don't know. If you can leverage a mana advantage, then you stick something, just put a clock on. Not have that.
It's
Get
beat
in
down.
for beats.
Beat down Deathrite Shaman. Like it. How many turns
And
are we looking
now
at?
you see Kohei, I think he drew a Power Blast, which again shows the conditionality of the card. It's
Right.
not answering any of the threats on the board.
Right.
I'm curious about this guy's sideboard play. He has
Okay.
Flusterstorm and Pyroblast post board.
So he took out Force
And
of Wills.
Spell Pierce?
He
He's
took out
drew a
Force of
Spell
Wills
Pierce.
on the play. He took out Force of Wills, and I don't know if he's playing Therapy, but was he?
Still seems a little.
Looks like we're
Probably
going to
not
go to a game 3, though. Deathrite Shaman's going to close it out. So,
So like I can see playing Power Blast over Force of Will, but I really don't like Flusterstorm or Spell Pierce over. So
Right.
Force of Will just.
crazy. Look at this, like,
Kenta
muscle.
Harane.
Kenta is the player on the right.
Kenta.
All right, his name is Kenta.
Kenta.
Nice.
Kenta.
According to pairings on the official coverage.
That's true. We could look at that. Is this round 3 now? We saw Tin Fins against Death and Taxes, and we saw Grixis Delver against Master
Silvermere. His legacy. Eldrazi versus Delver, and then we've got Rock Paper Scissors.
So it looks like all the other feature matches are finished, so this might be it for this round. That's fine, though. We still have a good game 3 going on.
The game was a grind. It was a triple.
Kenta top-aided GP Kyoto. Alright, that's pretty cool.
What format was
with
that, GP?
Omnitel.
Is that Dig Through Time Omnitel?
Probably.
I've
Or
seen
it's a
people
deck.
play it with like weird cards, like Pieces of the Puzzle.
I've seen the
Yeah.
weird Sneak Attack deck. I mean, the Sneak and Show decks that are now playing Omnitel.
Hmm.
Omniscience.
I think that's
Scissors,
like just another angle, like to fight decks like Eldrazi and Death and Taxes that might have like Endbringer or Caracas.
Okay. Yeah, this wine is nice. This wine is really
Sauvignon Blanc from Martinborough, New Zealand.
nice. I don't know a single thing about wine except that you drink it.
About what
So
I
you
know.
know one thing.
There's white and there's red.
I know that one's the one that always goes with seafood.
White?
Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh,
But white wine in
yeah.
general as well.
A lot of people are actually asking for the link, the live, just like this thing. I'll post it after the round is. It was posted earlier in the chat, but I don't know if it's possible to find it. Talking on the left and the right. Oh, Jake Mandello in the background.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
see Jake.
He was
He's
walking up
climbing the steps.
Nice.
He's ascending.
All right. Jake Mandello, one of the U.S. representatives. USA. No, just kidding. Yeah, we should totally make a meme out of the guy on the top. Just when he like looks up and like left, he's just like, "How long do I have to be here for?" Tap 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 tap. No, I'm kidding. That guy's doing a great job.
What is this tie guy with the die clip?
Yeah, is he a judge or he's just like? No, he's probably working with commentary. I guess.
Yeah, he's working
like
with
keeping
commentary.
track of life totals.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be like, this is
Kenta,
tie guy to
one.
home base. Kenta's now at 19 life. Tie guy to home base over. All right. So
Koshi gets the play. He has Looted Delta for a land. I'm not sure what else he has.
Couple
He's gonna
keep
try it.
Right.
Yep.
So this is probably Gataxian Probe because they're both taking life, or fetch land. It's a fetch land.
Be another underwhelming ponder turn one.
I hope not. I hope it's a Delver.
Delver.
Right.
Kenta is just
Maybe-
fist pumping right now.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. Okay, so it's a
And
shuffle.
a shuffle, even better.
Oh my god.
So,
I think that was his only land.
but I think one land brainstorm ponder is not a hand that you can really mull.
No, it's
Oh,
done.
yeah, you would
don't-
keep it.
You don't really.
Yeah.
Also true. Any deck with ponder, really, it's just Mighty Mulligan. You have ponder.
I know it's crazy, right? Even like a deck that's so mana intensive as Miracles, like one land ponder
I think
sneak.
he has a wasteland. Yep, he has a wasteland.
Right.
So you actually. So personally, whenever
On the
I see
shuffle,
I would just snap wasteland unless you have a reason that you need to use the wasteland to cast your own spells.
Okay.
But you always
On a keep, I wouldn't. On a shuffle, I would. And I think
maybe. It looks like he's also scared of wasteland. He might also only. Oh no, he has a second land.
Yeah, he does.
So he's like trying to develop his board further, which I don't like because you just wasteland him and then you can do this next turn.
Especially
Okay.
when you're in the Stifle deck.
So you see his hand right now: brainstorm, angler, delver, red spell.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play the delver or the brainstorm next? If you don't have a second land.
It depends on the situation. I think it depends on the.
In general, you want to develop your board as soon as
So here he's going for the risky brainstorm or deciding between the delver.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like brainstorm here.
Okay.
It's really bad if you miss,
If you miss, you're dead.
but
Thank God.
okay, so he hit a wasteland, which is not the
Hit-
best,
hit a
but
ball.
it's okay.
He's a long two.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah. So do you?
Oh, whoa, did he put wasteland on the second? He wants the wasteland next turn for sure.
Right.
So I'm not sure why he.
You're trying to flip his Delver.
Yeah, I agree with flipping the delver,
Unless
but
there's
I
a
don't
third
agree with not wastelanding his opponent.
Well, he has Young Pyromancer in his hand, so I am not like totally against him not using the Wasteland.
Yeah, but if you think like if the game just played out like if he just wastelanded him, he would have straight not been able to brainstorm, and he would have drawn the like Volk and the ponder.
Okay,
or
he's
the
gonna
wasteland
ponder
pretty
the
late.
Wasteland probably.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's reasonable.
Yeah.
But even still, I would rather like keep a bolt on top or something because wasteland's something you're almost priced into doing for sure.
Right. So that forces you into the ponder then, which is
Yeah, exactly.
it's tying up your mana when you'd rather just. Be
Yeah, like here you
flexible.
could have bolt wastelanded, for example,
Right.
or you could wasteland ponder. But either way, I think
He is Wasteland ponder.
Definitely draw ways.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so got some bugs on the board.
All right, but he's out of mana, so I think he actually needs to hold back the block. And that's not going to work out for him because he has. Oh no, he has mana. There you go.
Very good. Okay. All right. You guys hear that very faint clicking?
Yeah.
A little bit busted. I need to replace
That's
it.
what a busted fan is.
Yeah.
Ooh, so he has a dismember here.
That's sad.
Oh, he has a bolt too. So there you go. I think they were going to trade bolts
Okay.
on Delvers.
Yep.
And
All right, and Kohei just moving a little bit faster. I wonder what the time is in the round. We don't actually get to see it. It's interesting that
It's
Kohei's
close.
deck is described as 4-color.
so this is
He has a
interesting.
rough-
Now he gets to replay his Volk because he didn't have another land drop.
Right.
So he gets to use it again. Now he's debating whether to brainstorm or not. So I think in this situation, you could brainstorm end step. Okay, so he's brainstorming to
Days maybe.
look for a daze potentially. Yep. Looks like he's gonna set up another Delver flip.
You're also playing around counter magic by
What?
you don't let.
So
them-
you definitely want to be casting the Delver next turn, and you also want the other land too. So you might not even be setting up the Delver. Oh, you can play the Pyromancer too.
Right.
I like probably playing the Pyromancer.
Because it's the strongest card.
These players play really fast.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm a little bit worried that it may be a function of how much time is left in the round, but like watching Kai play in the last round, he was just like, I mean, he like it's upon the miracle player, it's the burden that you have to play fast, but he was doing a very good job at it. So
all right, looks like Koei's gonna go ahead and go for the Pyromancer.
Right.
And that's right.
Yeah, because you don't know if you're gonna have 2 mana next turn, and no, it looks like he's going for Delver Ponder. Oh, Gurmag Angler, even better.
That's the best. Yeah. Okay, now definitely the way he went through his deck, I feel not definitely, but I feel like it's
huge.
Time is going to be a call soon because he didn't even like shuffle the look. He was just like just whatever.
Well, now he's gonna have time to win. Oh, he actually chooses not to play the Delver, which I don't like that because if the other player had a Daze,
right.
Sending him back a land drop is fine.
Exactly, he's too far back. It's not enough time to.
Although the other player has a Dismember, which he also elected not to use this.
I think he was trying to ponder for maybe another land.
Kenta had a Dismember. I'm almost sure. He has Dismember and.
Does Kohei have like a weird spell pierce or something anymore?
Yeah, but see now like your Dismember is a lot worse. Sure.
He just hits a force.
So yeah, I mean he's maybe holding up like some spell. I'm not sure. Now he's gonna play Pyromancer.
I think that's
Enough either.
Just so you know, maybe that was okay. So now we're in turns. Okay, so this is turn.
Okay.
It should be turn 0, right?
Like they're saying it's turn 1.
Right.
Which means they should be able to slow down now. But...
Yeah, no, I mean like you definitely saw Kohei just literally like.
Yeah, but again, the Kenta really should have cast Dismember last turn.
and Kenta does take the slow.
Although I guess Kenta's line was Ponder for a land and cast Dismember. Like it was quote unquote a greedier line, but he maybe needed that to happen.
Yeah.
So that's reasonable.
Playing for a draw at this point.
I don't think.
Yeah. 6 now.
I mean, hypothetically, if Kohei has nothing, Kohei has another Delve.
Yeah, Kohei does have it.
So
Yes.
that's weird that they implemented 1 turn. Anyways, what is this?
Another Pyromancer?
Oh, there you
Ooh, that's a big game.
That's pretty.
Oh man!
At the days.
And that's insane.
And then he has a bolt too.
Yeah, so he can bolt the easy.
It might be a draw.
How else
Wow.
did he not have spells he could cast that turn? That's not.
Well, he had the Delver though.
He did have the Delver.
That is gross. Wow.
It's a draw.
It's a draw, yeah.
Wow. Kenta gets through.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering what Kohei could have done to maybe win this game faster.
I'm unsure what his hand is.
Delver, yeah.
I
He
mean,
had a
if
Delver.
Did he not have the therapy that turn? If he has the therapy that turn, you have to play that over the true name.
He therapy for bolts.
Yeah.
Well, no. Do you
could not have had the therapy though.
I don't know what they're doing. It's a draw.
And with Pyromancer,
I guess maybe.
he had to have drawn that for.
Yeah.
No way.
Wait, what? That was a turn? What's going on?
The game's a draw.
Okay, it's a draw.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, no one's really happy about getting a draw in round 3, but we are because
So
we got a
this is
full 45
interesting.
minutes of coverage.
Yeah, that's fine. What's interesting is that
That was a
neither
fun match to watch.
player like revealed their hand to be like, oh, like I was gonna beat you.
They
I
just
wonder if
switched
that's
it
more
up.
of a cultural thing. It could
Yeah.
be that it's like, oh, we reach turn 5, it's just always a draw. Nobody ever tries to convince the other person to scoop.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the
In
case.
round 3, where boards were even, I don't understand what argument you could really legitimately make.
Yeah, exactly, right? You can't be like, I mean, because you could be like, my hand is forcing this, well, my hand is dazing this.
Yeah,
I think Kohei was still pretty favored
Yeah.
because Kento is going to be hard pressed to fetch, or he would just play into a lightning bolt. Kohei has plenty of turns to find some burn spells, and maybe Kohei didn't have the Delver. I thought we saw it, but maybe he didn't have it.
I wouldn't consider making.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
round 8, something else. But
If
round 3, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even round 8,